Hello, my friends, and welcome to MSP Unplugged's Tech Talk Tuesday, shooting the crap with Mr. Paco. My name is Rick Smith, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Chicago's own Mr. Paco Lebron. How are you today, sir?
Boy, if I was living any better, Mr. Smith, I'd have to take your phrase and say it'd be a sin.
Well, that sounds good. Sounds like somebody's having a good day, good week.
It's Friday, boy. They have me running ragged in this. It's crazy. But
Okay.
no, I'm glad for it's a Friday for sure.
Well, okay. So for you, those of you out there, it is Friday. We're recording this show for Tuesday. So it is our Tech Talk Tuesday conversation, but it's done on a Friday. But for those who don't know,
Tech
this is the
Talk
place to
Tuesday on a
learn.
Friday.
This is the place to learn tips, tricks, and strategies to help you run and grow your IT service business. This is whether you're a one person shop or a more established business leading a team for the journey. This is the place for you. Now, before we dive into today's topic, we like to, as always, give our quick PSA, public service announcement, for Paco's favorite thing, which is our upcoming event. You want to tell them what that is, Mr. Paco?
Oh, that's got to be May 9th and 10th, the Channel Pro Chicago. Oh, no, you mean, but yes, you should go ahead into that. I will be speaking at May 9th, May 10th, Channel Pro Weekly. Jay-Z VIP if you want the code. But no, I'm talking about my other favorite thing, and that's got to be TechCon Unplugged.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nothing against Channel Pro here. We will tune in to watch you, but TechCon Unplug is the most exciting thing for us right now. That is happening September 7th to the 10th at the Delta Hotel in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Yes, that's my backyard. Now, TechCon Unplug is our annual gathering of IT business owners, techs, and vendors in the space. There, you will learn from like minded business owners in panels and breakout sessions, gain key takeaways from partners and vendors in the community. And my absolute favorite part is where Mr. Paco likes to say, the magic happens. Is those one-on-one spontaneous group conversations where great friendships are built, relationships are cultivated, and ideas are exchanged. Now, tickets are on sale at techconunplugged.com. We are in stage 2 of our early bird ticket pricing. So tickets are from $349 reduced right now to $299. And that is until the end of June. So we do encourage you to go and take advantage of the level 2 early bird special and get your tickets to save a few bucks. We do look forward to seeing you there. Oh, one quick announcement I do want to make. We have updated the website. So you will find a couple of things. The agenda, well, the preliminary agenda of what's going on or how we're going to lay it out is on the website. As we solidify the topics, which is being done each week with our very dedicated and very helpful content committee crew, we will be filling the agenda in with the official names of the topics and also giving you some insight on who will be speaking on those topics. So again, we look forward to seeing you there. Get your tickets at techconunplugged.com. Okay, Mr. Paco. Today's topic is just one of those where we round out some things that's been going on, really, right? We call it shooting the, technically in the
Sugar honey
title
iced
is
tea is what
shooting
I
the
like to
shit.
say.
But it's something, as we as techs do a lot when we get together, we talk, we sometimes start with a conversation about one thing and it goes into so many other things. We will try to keep this brief so we won't you know bore you with all of our stuff, but there are a few things that's been going on in our week and we just like to discuss them with you all. Maybe some of you might find some help in them. Some of you might have some suggestions that you can give us on how to alleviate some of those things. But first, what we're going to do is Paco's going to kick us off with a quick tip or strategy or story that he has for the audience.
So, yes, my tip is quite a few of them, but the specific one that I have for this portion of the show is we are now diving into the Microsoft environment, the ecosystem, as you will, more than what we have before. What does that mean? Stay tuned. We may be talking about some of that journey here in the Facebook group. So if you haven't had a chance, you need to know someone or have been a ticket purchaser of TechCon Unplugged to be able to figure out what's going on in the group. But right now, we are trying to figure out what's going to be best for us and our clients in the Microsoft ecosystem. So we've gone through a whole process of possibly thinking going all in on Microsoft, and that's on Defender everything. Now, unfortunately, Microsoft does not make that very easy for us to go ahead and do. So, what me and John actually have found, John Dubinsky, who works with us here at ProdigyTeks, we actually found a website, or he knows of a website that I just became aware of it called M65maps.com. So, M65maps.com will actually allow you to compare and contrast all licenses for Microsoft 365, and you can see what is provided in that license. So no longer will you have to figure, all right, well, if I buy Business Voice, does that come with audio conferencing? Will I have audio conferencing in my business standard or business premium license? Will I have Azure P1? What can I do, or what is included inside of my Microsoft licensing? M365maps.com. It's usually updated every month. And yeah, that's what we use to kind of dive in and figure out, are we going to go Microsoft 365 Business Premium? Are we going to go Microsoft 365 E5? Are we going to go Office 365 E5? So there's an enterprising license for what we want to do. So this is what helped us in that conversation. And this was a very visually able to check versus going to the PDF that Microsoft has that kind of has the dots on the 15 million SKUs that they have that they provide. So again, M365maps.com is the URL. We'll try to make sure to have that in the show notes, but that's what is my tip for this week.
Okay. I have a quick tip. I've had a couple of things that go on this week, and always you find some learning lessons and some things. So my quick tip is going to be: make sure you communicate with your clients. Again, we've had this conversation about what is included and what is not included, but this happened. Interesting scenario. We have a client. Well, we have a client we used to do business with that sold the business. So the new owners chose not to use us for service. They at the time didn't see the value in paying us what the old client was paying us on a monthly basis. So they didn't use us. Now goes back maybe 6-8 months. So it turns out they had a problem last week when the network went down. Now just so you know, they're a restaurant and they're really busy. So it goes down on a busy night. And the person that they had been calling who came in to do a few things wasn't available or couldn't make the call or whatever the reason is. I get this desperate phone call asking me, can I come in and help troubleshoot the problem? Which I go into. I explained to the client, we figured out what the problem was. It turns out that it was a bad switch that had been in the system, been there maybe, I don't know, 7-8 years now, 6-7 years. I put the switch in. And when I got the phone call and I explained, I said, it's probably that switch. They had a power outage a couple of days prior. Things didn't come back up all the way. And then finally they just popped back on. I said, yeah, you probably were shorting the switch. It's probably a bad switch. That's probably what your issue is, but I'll come in and try to fix it. So by the time I get there, you know what happens. The system popped back up. Everything was working except for the Wi-Fi. Now I don't manage any of this stuff. The guy who put the stuff in, they had a unified controller. So I can't even see the access point. So the Wi-Fi is needed for the
POS systems.
For the POS, for the tablets that they walk around with to take orders with.
Yeah.
So we finally get the guy on the phone. Of course, he doesn't want to give me any information. I said, hey, I just need you then, as I restart, I'm going to restart this access point. Tell me if the things come up. Then we had to communicate with the POS provider so they could check and see if the tablets are online and go through all this stuff. Anyway, hour and a half later, everything's working. They're able to pursue business. So I tell the client then, hey, you're going to have to replace this switch. Just because we got through it right now, you're gonna have to replace the switch because it's gonna go down again.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's working right now. Okay, we'll take care of it. Okay. I give them a bill. They pay the bill, they pay the invoice. Next day. 2 days later, what
Switch goes out
happens?
again.
It's Friday night in the middle of big restaurant rush, private party, event outside.
Oh.
So I get another phone call.
Yeah.
Hey, blah, 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 blah. I go back. It turns out two things happened. One, again, the switch died. The switch shut itself off. And two, somebody stuck another router, another one of those, not a D-Link, but a Linksys router
Okay.
somewhere to try. Somebody gave them the idea, hey, put this here. You can get internet for your such and such. Just send everything here. Now, of course, that router is plugged in running DHCP as well. So there's a conflict. So we have to go through the same process again with the three people. So I say, hey, I'm gonna have to redo all of this basically. So I had a switch. This is a switch I keep it with me to test things, right? I said, hey, I'll put this switch in for now. We have to change it. This is not something you can keep. I'm not selling it to you. We have to buy one. I do that. I spent 3 hours there on a Friday evening. So basically that was my Friday night. Put the switch in. I finally figured out where the conflict was because nobody told me that the router was that they added this extra wireless router in the network. So I finally figured that out. Got it all working. 3 hours, 3.5 hours later. Yeah. Rick, you want a drink? I'll take two. But anyway, at the end of the night, but the issue came again where I said, okay, hey, I put this temporary router in, but we're gonna have to replace the router. Now I billed them for the service.
Mm-hmm.
It's Friday night after hours. I spent 3.5 hours there when I could have been doing something else on my Friday night. So yes, you do get my emergency rate, right? Which is higher, which I thought was clear. So when the bill comes, when the bill's paid, but I was like, I sent a follow-up message. Hey, did you get the? I sent you guys an estimate so we can replace the switch.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the switch was included in that price you charged. No, look at the invoice again. Nowhere on there does it say the switch. The only thing that invoice says is, on the bottom, it says we recommend replacing the switch. See estimate number, and basically because the estimate came right as we sent the invoice.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my point is, again, you just have to be clear because now the client's up in arms thinking they paid for the switch, which they did not pay for. They just paid for labor for the work that came out. So, to make a short story long, I'm just saying, make sure it's clear. And I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I could reference back to the invoice to say, hey, you need to replace the switch. Here's the cost of a switch if you want us to do it. See estimate number such and such, which we sent along with the invoice. But that's my story for today.
So is he buying the switch, or are you still back and forth with him right now?
I haven't heard the response, but what I did say was I need to get my switch back by the end of the weekend. Right. Yeah. So by Monday, I need to get so you need to tell me what you want to do.
Right.
So that is one of the hangups too. And I honestly do not think that this will be a problem.
Yeah.
I just think that they didn't understand. They're good guys, and I'm not accusing them of anything negative, but I just think that we just have to find a way to make sure we're clearer so that clients understand what is covered and what is not, or what are you getting for what you're paying for and not.
Right.
But I haven't heard back yet about whether I'm going to get the switch or they're going to go buy it themselves, which to me, it doesn't matter because, that's totally up to them.
Got it. Nope, that makes sense. Be clear, be concise, or you're going to end up broke. No, that's a good point. But I also think there's another lesson in there as well, is to being prepared. So we do something similar. We have a router and we have a and then we have a switch in our trunk as well. In the event something were to ever go wrong, we have that easily to replace / swap out, and then we just invoice them for that device, and then we purchase another one to replace what's in the trunk. So, and obviously there's depends on age and all that stuff. So, but yeah, definitely prepared. You were able to save the day, and they were able to operate business. Who knows how much money they would have lost without the switch, And that's the
Exactly.
argument for them as well. Like, look, you can gripe all you want, but the emergency rate plus the switch is probably less what you would have lost on the last several days had you been waiting for a switch to come to you.
It's
So,
definitely less.
and for your guy to come and install it.
Right.
So, you know, just a couple other items to talk about when you
Hmm.
starting this endeavor as an entrepreneurship. So,
And what I do think it will help me though is twice this problem occurred within a week, and their person that they were using was not available to them to help them solve the problem.
mm,
Right. So I'm assuming that puts me in a different category now than it did, just a week ago.
right.
And they may be considering, moving along from the guy that they had because he could not help them out of two jams when they
Mhm.
needed him most.
Right, on busy nights. So,
Right.
yeah, reliability. That's kind of how it shows up from there. So that's for sure. All right. So a little bit about what we now that we're talking about our weeks. This is, as I kind of mentioned earlier in the episode. This has been a full Microsoft week for us. So Microsoft, I don't know if they announced, but they basically allowed the availability for the new Microsoft Teams and the new Microsoft Outlook. I went ahead and tried both. So I will start with what I don't like first, and that is the new Outlook. Totally hate the formatting of it, but I understand why they're doing it. This is the first time that I've ever said like this is stupid. Like that's the first time I ever of a change that Microsoft. I'm like, all right, I'll adopt or whatever. Now I've gotten to the point where I like my other clients, or I'm like, yeah, this is dumb. What the heck? Like this is BS. And so,
Now, can I ask you real quick?
yeah,
I am one of those people who still have not seen the new look, right?
yeah,
The new
yep.
Outlook. My understanding is they're taking it to be more like the online version. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. And that's
Okay.
what I was going to jump into. So basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to, the online web access formatting is going to be the same experience across all devices. So so anyone who has the new Outlook checkbox on for the Macs, because there was a new Outlook that you could use at the time, way back when, they've now flipped it. So now the original is now on the original, and the new changed on a lot of Mac users as well. But essentially, Outlook on PC, Outlook on Mac, OWA will all look the same. To the point where my director of business administration, business services, loves the Outlook web access. And now that Outlook looks like it, she's now has migrated to the app and is no longer using the browser because it's great for her. So I hate it, but I'm getting used to it. And so there's still a couple things that don't work, like favorites of shared mailboxes are not working properly and inboxes and stuff like that. But I'm imagining they're going to fix that over time. It is preview, so I'm sure they're going to be fixing all that up. But what I do love is the new teams. So the new teams, which you, depending on your update policy, which we'll have that link in the show notes, you do have to enable your force preview update, and then allow users to choose in order to get the toggle button to enable it. And so that has been very interesting. I've only ran into my first issue this morning where I joined on to a meeting, which actually was our content committee meeting, and everybody was a white square for some reason, and I don't know why. But that has not happened before when we were doing video, so I have to figure out why that was causing it, or if that's a known issue. So I have to double check. But so far, I love everything about it. It's quicker, it's faster. They've changed how some of the formatting is. So like now, when you get a notification, you click on it, it'll actually open up as a new message. They've sorted top down versus bottom top. As far as newest to oldest, the newest is on the top now as by default versus the newest being as the bottom message. Um, and most importantly, because as probably everyone that's listening, me and Rick have obviously our MSP's emails, but we also have our MSP Unplugged emails. So now we will have the ability to communicate on Teams on the desktop app. That was an issue where the Microsoft desktop app would not allow you to switch between accounts like you could on a mobile tablet or on a phone. So now we have that ability. So now I can go ahead and ping them every time I get a chance, and instead of having to give them a call on what's going on. So that's working out really nicely. So Teams, the new Teams of Microsoft, thumbs up for me. The new Outlook for Microsoft, thumbs down for me. So that's my little gripe for what's going on with all of that.
Okay. So let me ask you this: are you here's a good question, and I know this fluctuates in person, but how deep into Teams are you?
In general, or the new version?
No, in general.
Oh, I'm really in deep. So I actually was studying to get my team certification, but I rescheduled my certification test so many times that I missed the deadline and didn't take the test. So that's how much I was in depth with it in 2020. A lot has changed since then, so I have to go through the whole classes. But yeah, I'm in it to win it with Teams.
Okay, because I get mixed. I got mixed feelings with Teams. I really liked it when it first came out, and it seems like, and again, this is not a Microsoft bash because everything we use, or most of the things we use, revolves around Microsoft. So this is not a bash because I'm grateful for Microsoft and a lot of the stuff.
See, I hear bash and I'm thinking party. I think you're probably.
I'm just saying. I start with it. They make a change. Everything goes to shit for a couple of days. You know, like something's like today. You got the white spots on your thing, but when they make changes, sometimes maybe the best way to say this is Microsoft doesn't do anything half-assed. They either royally screw up or they royally make good decisions. You know what I mean? Like, and it seems like when it comes to the apps, they make changes and they're sometimes can be extremely drastic, and you're like, oh God.
So to be fair,
okay,
I think that is probably one of the top complaints that we get from a lot of our peers. Okay. And there's some merit to that. But I will challenge you, because it seems that your frustration with Microsoft as a whole, when little items come up,
right,
tend to affect your viewpoint for them. And so I think that there's a couple things to that. So the Teams thing is preview, so there's not much you can do about it. That's what you get with beta and all that stuff in general with any software. With a lot of the other changes that kind of smack us up and we're like, well, what the heck, are normally announced. But I think there's two issues. One, there isn't a really great way that they announce it. So they have like the admin center, they have the whatever, and then in their language, you have to be super smart, like Matt Lee or some of those guys that can actually understand, what it says.
You mean super geek?
You said it, not me.
No offense, Matt, but you're really smart.
Or you just have to find the best avenue to stay up to date for you. So for like me, it's T-365. So shout out to Nick Ross. If you haven't heard him, he was on our Resource Thursday, but he has a great YouTube channel. And he goes through a monthly, hey, this is what's new with Microsoft every month. And he breaks it down in our language as MSPs and IT solution providers to understand how to move forward. So I think it's a matter of...
Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
So I just think that it's a matter of us not paying attention and looking at what's given to us and not taking the effort to, if it's not a great medium for you, to work with yourself to resolve it. So that's my soapbox for that.
I think that's a fair assessment. And I think they do announce it. And I do think it's not in the channels or in the way we normally consume the information. So it may be that's what makes it bounce off of us. Yeah. I get my Microsoft information from my sauce, Paco Lebron at ProdigyTeks. When something changes, Paco says, hey, have you tried to do this? Have you seen it do that? I'm like, no. What do you mean? And then Paco tells me, then I bug him for like 5 days in a row to give me all the information he has. And that's how I know what's going on. So I got a good source. I'm not going to put nobody else under that though. Paco,
So we'll make sure that we go ahead and put we will make sure that we put the links in the show notes. Talk about obviously both the new and old outlets. Yes, the changes suck, which goes into something that I believe is related, but I don't know for sure. So I will double check with my proper sources. But we had this weird issue with a client where every time she would accept or mark she would mark an email as spam, she would get a bounce back that says questionable URLs detected in this email. And she did not, and we didn't understand or why was it happening or what was going on. And so through some searching, turns out that I'm assuming when security defaults were enabled across the globe of the board for everybody, there is a section inside of the user submissions that ties to the safe links in Teams and other avenues of the Office 365 that Defender protects. And so in that user submission, somehow from what she may have worked on way back before we took her over, had put her primary email as a notification for when reporting a junk email with questionable URLs.
Mm-hmm.
So we found that, was able to change it, went through. We'll put the link on where we found that and kind of explains a little bit better on how that's set up. But that was something we discovered through, again, a change from Microsoft and kind of running through that whole process. And again, running through the punches, but we totally understand what you're saying is that sometimes we're kind of just left to fend for ourselves because we're so busy and we're so in tune to what we're trying to do. However, what I will give you is you're not alone. There are great vendors like Pax8 that do a lot of great boot camps. So I actually sent John Dubinsky over to the Modern Workplace Boot Camp this past week. It was a virtual event across 2 days and really diving into how to talk about Office 365, Microsoft 365, how do you now manage the modern workplace? And he said, hey, it was great information, but I got a lot of questions on why I hate Microsoft now. And as everyone doesn't know, John, when he was running his MSP or his practice as an IT solution provider, he was a Google Workspace house. Everything was Google, the Google domains, the Google emails, all of it. So it's been a transition for him over the past year and a half on diving into the Microsoft realm of things. And so this was a good help in kind of going from there. So leverage your vendors, leverage your partners, leverage your distributors to be able to have, because they have a lot of educational pieces. Pax8 has their academy over there as well.
MSPUnplugged.com.
MSPUnplugged.com. What?
Paco at MSPUnplugged.com.
Yeah, okay.
Here's my leverage. I'm just gonna keep saying it. I'm sorry.
But as my friend who just recently got appointed as the ZVP of ecosystems and partnerships over at Pax8, Rob Ray, I would be nice to say you should head over to Pax8Beyond.com. So that's going to be a great event happening June 11th and June 11th to June 13th in I forgot what part of Colorado. I don't know if it's Aurora, but it's going to be over at the I believe the Rosen, if I'm not correct. But head over to Pax8Beyond.com. There's still tickets available, and take advantage. I think what has been said to me for a lot of distributor shows, they tend to be the best ones because you get a smeandering of everybody that shows up as far as individual vendors versus a vendor type show like the big shows that we're used to going to. They talk about their product and it's more kind of geared toward them a little bit with vendors. So this is a great way to kind of A, talk to your Pax8 rep, B, get to know what that's in the Pax8 card. If you are a Pax8 partner or considering it, this may be a great opportunity for you to go as well. Plus all the resources they give as far as a partner. So that's my Pax8 loving for this episode.
Cheap plug. Pax8 is a sponsor of TechCon Unplugged. Yes,
TechCon
Unplugged 2023.
They are, and we appreciate them sponsoring this year at TechCon Unplugged as well. So, but with that, that's kind of my Microsoft week for this, Rick. What do you got going on your side?
Man, it's just been like I told you the story about last week. This week I'm just dealing with some I, we will actually, if you're listening to this on Tuesday, um we will have a Thursday show that talks about insurance.
Hmm.
But I'm just going to give a quick piece of information. Then this is just for everyone. This was probably the highlight of my week, and Paco and I talked about this a couple of times. Is a client reached out and said, "Hey, it's time for us to renew our insurance policy, our cyber insurance policy." I'm like, "Cool." Like, so the normal way that works is he renews the cyber insurance policy. They send me the questions that they need answered about what we offer. This year was a little different. He's like, "Hey, uh, we have the insurance company is offering us these certain things now, and we're trying to figure out if they overlap with what you do or they're different than what you do, and if it makes sense for us to do those, to do it with them or do it with you." Now this of course is the insurance companies offering their version of EDR and backup and uh, a couple other things that we use that we would that we would term cybersecurity. um, so I just want everyone to be aware this is coming. I'm sure some people have seen this before. The client did send us a copy of it because he truly wanted our opinion. What is the difference? Does it make sense for us to uh, use what they're offering us? Obviously, it's going to be rolled into their insurance price, so it's probably most likely cheaper than what we offer. And actually, in the proposal that the insurance company in the what do you call it, the sales sheet that the insurance company offered, it did say you can save, you know, anywhere from $500 to $1,400 a month, based on what you probably pay in a provider now for these services. So it is something everyone should start being aware of. The insurance companies, they are, in my opinion, they're coming for our business like everyone else. They see an opportunity, and they're coming for it. So I know how I'm going to respond. I did respond to the customer already and explain to them where I think the major differences is. Um, but that is I'm going to say quote unquote threat, right? Because again, we have to look at it from the customer's point of view. They're spending thousands of dollars a month with you, and then you tell them, hey, you need to get, or you should get, I highly recommend you get cyber insurance. I'm not going to tell you who to get it with. I'm not going to tell you what to buy. I just think you should talk to a broker, get cyber insurance. They go do that, and then all of a sudden now it's like, hey, we might not need you anymore, or do we still need you? Basically, now you have to justify what you're worth. So it's just an interesting concept that I had not thought about. I had heard it, heard spatterings of it here and there, people saying that I'd never seen it or experienced it, but now it's here, and I get the sense that this is not going to be the last time I'm going to have this conversation with clients about this. So just a little, keep everyone aware and pay attention to what's going on around you.
Yep, we dive much more into this Resource Thursday. We had a great guest, CPod Cyber, Doug Kreitzberg. So definitely tune in on Thursday to listen to that interview as we talk about this particular topic, among others that we have as well for Resource Thursday on cyber insurance.
Exactly. Now I do have one other thing I want to talk about, and then I'm actually going to shut up today. But we have this we have this ongoing debate, and I mean, amongst, if you ask 10 MSPs or 10 IT solutions providers whether they believe in or still have on-prem servers versus cloud servers, I think you're going to get probably an even split, or maybe a 60-40 split cloud to on-prem. Some clients need on-prem for certain LOBs that line of business software that they run. They're either not mature enough yet, or I'm talking about the software is not mature enough or not built yet to run from a cloud environment, or there are other reasons why. So I happen to be one of those people who have probably an over proportion of in-home servers or in-house servers. And it is coming on. I just want everyone to be aware of this because I do have several who fight me about upgrading, but we are coming on the end of life for server 2012 R2. So if anyone's
Mhm.
still running it, we are end of life. I believe it's September 23rd, or is that right?
I thought it was October, but you might be right. It's
Oh,
September.
maybe it's October 23rd. It's some, yeah, September, October, somewhere along that line. We are coming along, and we are quickly approaching end of life. So if you do have any of those out there, I'm just gonna just suggest you start planning uh for your client to upgrade servers, and move into the, I guess that'll move into the next version of which is what
2016.
21
Wait for after
server.
2012.
Well, no, right, but the latest version now is
Oh, the
server
latest version is
21, is it?
20. I believe it's 21.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
I don't do on-prem servers, so that's why I
Okay.
kill servers in my practice.
Okay.
So
So again, and then this is a great opportunity too. If you have any of those 2022, any of those that are approaching end of life, if you have the opportunity, and if it works for your business, for your client's business, that is, to think about working the migration now um, to Azure or whatever you want to use for a cloud server. So it's just interesting because I have 3 migrations planned, one a month for June, July, and August to get those 3 clients out of there.
and just so we're aware, it's server 2022 is the latest version
2022.
of
Okay,
Microsoft
thank you.
Server.
Yeah, that's bad because it's in the order that we put for the new Dell servers, but I don't remember what it was. But anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to point that out to everyone. I'm sure most of us know this, but just be aware. Um, End of life is coming for server 2022, server 2012, excuse me, R2, and take care of it. So Paco, I think sounds like we've exhausted our week, our stories. There's plenty more, but these are probably what's relevant for right now. Um, Before we sign off, anything you want to add? Any other information you want to leave our guests with?
Nope. Find a buddy, have a beer, and take on the week strong because we're gonna have to buckle up and get ready. But just know that you always have somebody you get to chat to, and if you don't have anybody to chat to, you can always email it over at info@mspunplugged.com, and that will be seen by both Rick and myself. So
Yeah, but you know what happens? Paco sees it first, so he usually answers quicker. but uh, but yeah, definitely. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, anything you want to help us out, you want to share with us, we'll be glad to take your feedback. Our goal, as we say all the time, is just to inform the community on what's going on, try to help your business grow, and we look for feedback that we can use to help us help you, and that you can help us with to help our business grow. So we want to keep that line of communication open. I am going to emphasize again, we are in the second stage of TechCon Unplugged tickets. So we do suggest you get your tickets if you want to come. If you have any questions about what's happening, what's TechCon about, we actually will be having some updates to our website that'll give you a more visual and audio, we say, enhanced look at what TechCon's all about and some of the experiences that some of the guests have had. Um, so I just say this, and this question was asked to me 2 weeks ago in an email. I did address it in the email, but I'm going to say it here. He said, "Hey, um, is TechCon for me?" And my answer to the person was, "Hey, if you are community oriented, looking to grow your business, looking to make new friendships, make basically gain new knowledge and gain meet people who are like you and have like-minded ideas, then yes, TechCon is for you. We, again, I emphasize this, and Paco says it a lot. We are not focused on, you don't have to have X amount of employees or X amount of, or do X amount of dollars or anything like that. Whatever stage you're in, there's a place for you there, because everyone there, which is probably one of the greatest things. Everyone there comes from, we come from different backgrounds, different levels in our business, and we're all working together towards growing. And some of us when I started with TechCon, started with the community. I was a single, man in the van or trunk slammer, whatever you want to call it, a nimble MSP. And we've all grown from there. So, and there's a place for everyone there. We try to address everyone's needs and concerns. So I do encourage everyone to come. Paco, anything you want to add to that?
Be there or be square.
Okay, thanks, Paco. Anyway, folks, Paco and I want to thank you for tuning in today. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday. Watch the video podcast on youtube.com/MSP Unplugged, or catch us on our facebook.com/MSP Unplugged. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, hit the notification button to be notified whenever a new episode is available. If you are the type who likes to listen and not watch, you can take us on the go with your favorite podcatcher app. We're on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. For Paco and I, again, I want to thank you for listening. We'll see you next time on MSP Unplugged.